What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we're talking about Lybra Finance today, LBR. This one comes to us at the request of Miss Stacy Odin, or Stacy ODN. I don't know how it's meant to be said, but Stacy Odin or ODN. This one's for you. We're looking at it here on CoinGecko because I want to point out the market cap. It's worth 13.9 billion, basically, or 14 million. I'm sorry, basically 14 million. It has the capacity. A coin like this really does have the capacity for tremendous growth. Like, you could see a 100x, a 300x, a 1000x. You really could in a single cycle. But I want to start off with that, being said, I want to start off by saying that the possibility of that is a lot less than just the potential of that, right? The potential is there. It's there, but the possibility, I talk about a lot of 1000x's on this channel. People like to request their shit coins, and I'm not calling this a shit, it's just, if you're in the space, it's what they call it, shit coins. Anything that's basically outside, even in the top 100, like basically the whole market is shit coins except for Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? And then if you really like a coin, but like Dogecoin is a shit coin, and I love Dogecoin. I'm not trying to talk shit on Libra, but drink or smoke or clap or do something silly if I say shit again. There's one. Libra token is 1000xable, but out of all the 1000xable coins I've talked about, which is probably anywhere from about a dozen to 2 dozen coins, 12 to 24 coins that I've talked about that are 1000xable, probably closer to 12, right? This is number 756. There are thousands of cryptos that are 1000xable in this coming cycle. Hundreds of them will not 1000x. There are thousands of them, and hundreds of them will not. Dozens of them will not. There will be a handful of them that do, okay, that do a 1000x, and that you can actually put your money into and withdraw, and it's not a rug pull bullshit scam. Like, it's real and it actually exists, and you can make that kind of money. That's going to be a handful, and I've only talked about a handful of coins on this channel. So what I'm trying to get at is the odds of any of these coins doing a 1000x. As much as I want to like give them credit or believe in them or whatever, you have to be real with yourself, you guys. The odds of any of these coins doing a 1000x in this cycle are very low. Okay, it's like 1 in like 4,000, 1 in like 6,000, something like that. Maybe it's less than that even. I don't know. The odds of finding the right one is low. And I've talked about, like I said, more than a dozen coins on here that have that potential. And the odds are greater that none of those coins do a 1000x than even just one of them doing a 1000x. So I want to keep that in mind going forward. Yes, the math is there. It is possible. It has that allowance in it to grow 1000x. What would 1000x be in this market cap? It would be $13 billion. We've got, like, I think that in the top 43 or like the top 30, they're all like 13 billion or more, something like that. So is that possible? Yeah, I think so. Or maybe it's the top 43, I think, all has a billion, so maybe it's more like the top 14 or something like that. I forget. I'm not going to look at it, but anyways, without any more of that, let's actually get into the TA. I just wanted to give a forewarning because I talk about these 1000x's. Every single coin that I've talked about, again, it's more likely that none of them pull a 1000x than even just one of them do. So if out of the over a dozen coins I've talked about that have 1000x potential, if even just one of them, if just one of them were to hit, that's awesome, guys. That's incredible. That's insane. The odds are not stacked in our favors at all. So don't get too excited when I say that there's that it's that potential, because that's all it is potential. It's not guaranteed to happen. But with that potential, keeping that in mind, because it is very real potential, it does have that potential, even with the odds not in store or not. I know I'm dragging this out here, but even with that, you have a very high reward to a potentially very low risk. You're buying in at the all-time lows here. The potential for a 1000x, you could throw $100 in this thing and turn it into $100,000. You know what I mean? You could just shoot blind on a lot of these coins and potentially do great things. Maybe they don't do a 1000x. Maybe they do a 100x or a 300x or a 20x, whatever. A 20x on $100 is $2,000. Like that, like you can't. Even if this thing doesn't do a 1000x, I would say the odds are very good that it does like a 10x, a 20x, a 30x or something. Let's see how far away it is from its all-time highs at the moment. It's all-time highs. That's a 100% growth. So I would think by the end of its bull market, it would be above there probably with such a low market cap. But you do have getting into the actual technicals now. You do have this double bottom that played out, and wouldn't you know it, man, it was a failed W, right? You have this like W leg coming in here. It's got like an M, and then you came out here. This is like the reverse bow, but it's failed because, and I call it the reverse bow because it kind of looks like a little like bow. It's not as clean on this one, but essentially you have a W with an M in the middle of it. It works the same way that a W would. It's just it bottomed out with an M, a double bottom, right? You got a W here. The second leg is shorter than the first leg. That's a failed W. That tends to be bearish. So the fact that you're back down here forming a flat base and you're not bouncing off it at all, I do think you go lower. I don't think that the low is in yet. You're looking at the daily here. This isn't a whole lot to go off of. So don't hate me if I'm wrong. But I would bet, if I was to bet, I would bet, yeah, rejecting your 618 like this, man, after coming, yeah, I would really think that you come down. You're at $1.11 right now. Probably down to 85 cents, if not 64 cents, if not lower. It's totally possible that you could go lower. Let's see what you did with this one. From low to high. You went through your 1886. You actually tipped it here and then double bottomed through it here, had a little fake out, and then back to the upside. You could go all the way down to 51 cents, man. You really could. You could do more than a 50% drop from here. With a low market cap like this, if you did a 50% drop from here, that could happen like real fast, man. You could do 10% like day by day, come back up, and then just flush crash. I mean, you might even go lower than this 1886, but eventually just kind of close back up above it. You could really see some big movements in this thing. Very low market cap does not mean it's incapable of having dramatic moves to the downside. It might be low in market cap, but a 90% drop, it could do that. It doesn't take much money to move this thing. Okay, so like a 90% drop, by the way, would be, let's see, where would that be from here? Be quite the ways away. Be off this chart, that's for sure. So I mean, you'd be below 20 cents, which again, it might seem crazy, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. But to be more realistic, I do think somewhere in this range, probably being that it is a shitcoin, probably in the deeper extensions between the 1618 and the 1886, something like that. That would be my anticipation of it overall. But you do have decreasing volume as you're moving lower. That's nice to see, but you can still get, you can get little spikes of volume that come up and then just continue to like drop off, right? You could well into like the end of this year continue to move down, or just have bouts of slowness or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, looking at the daily here, very weak looking RSI. Weekly, there's not enough to go off of. On the 4-hour, weak looking RSI as well. Yes, you did have a double bottom in it, which is nice to see. It's bullish divergence, actually. Very nice to see. But unfortunately, you came up, you formed a higher high while forming a lower high. This is hidden bearish divergence, and it looks like it's starting to roll over. You went up without any volume. You had more volume coming down than you do going up. That's not a good sign, okay? This thing seems to like to fake people out, man. It looks like it does like really good looking. Like, look at this W again. It's a failed W right there. You even got another W. This one was even weaker. You had a cup and handle that like faked you out to the ups. It faked you down, and then it also faked you up. Like it's this thing likes to mess with people. So that's kind of good to see, because that means that there's some there's probably people trading it, and maybe they're trading it to the downside, whatever. But what I'm trying to get at, guys, also is that 1000x I was talking about, that will become more likely the more that this thing drops, right? Whatever price it's going to hit in its bull rally, if you buy it at a cheaper price, you're more likely to hit bigger growth. I mean, you're guaranteed to hit bigger growth if you buy it cheaper. So if and when it does break its all-time high at the moment, where do I think it's going? I think it's going to go probably down there, right? Let's probably at least at the 1618. You'd be looking at, you're at $1.11 now. You'd be looking at prices that are probably above $7 eventually if you were to get above this all-time high. It's totally possible that this coin could never break its all-time high and never see a multi-$100 million market cap, a multi-billion-dollar market cap. That's possible too. So that 1000x only stands if this thing hits $1 billion. It has to hit more than $1 billion from here. So actually has to hit, what is it, basically 14 billion. So anyways, all that talking to say, just very simply, you guys, I think it's going lower. I do think that the price is going lower. Probably a 50% or more drop from here, honestly. Like, if I had to give it just like a rough look, 64, maybe a little bit less than 50% is even possible, but like 40% or more, I feel safe saying. And you probably do go down to this 1886 or 1786 deeper extensions. It seems like you like to do that. I wonder even if you have a deep retracement here. Moving through, yeah, it looks like you do. Yep, right to the 786 deeper retracement. So yeah, you really could see something that's all the way down at 50 cents, 60 cent area. That wouldn't be too surprising. Don't let it surprise you. This thing likes to move pretty fast. This whole like steady drop down that it's had, I think we're getting ready to make a fast move down, and then it's hopefully uptime from there. But that's who knows how far away that is. That could be throughout the end of this year that you move down. I mean, at this pace, right? You're going like this, like try to draw a straight line there. That like puts us in the middle of November at the 1886. So that's kind of at the top range. So maybe even by the end of October. But it could like move up and down and like who knows what. Like definitely not backwards. But anyways, that's all I have to say. If you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more. I can't talk today, but I will keep talking today. So take care, everybody. Bye bye.